All right. And we are live.
We're live. Oh my
What's going
gosh.
on?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, good. Glad to be doing
Yeah?
this again with you.
Me too. I'm sorry I couldn't be here last week. I was ridiculously sick. I mean, like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 12. It
Really?
was just like I can't even. I don't know. I was just very sick. So it's good to be back. It's good to be doing things again and being a normal human being.
I mean,
Really
you had COVID. I'm gonna be honest. When I had COVID, it put me out for a bit. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, I've had a myriad of things over that week. So I'm just glad that whatever it is, I'm hopefully done with because I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more. Sorry.
No, I don't
move
blame
off
you.
there for a second. Yeah. It's
Right off the bat,
been crazy.
Madman Paul is in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thank you for tuning in.
How's it going, man?
So, give a little intro. As always, we are going to be breaking down Cover Price's top 10 list of books this week. This is, man, what week are we even on right now? This is the week ending of...
Well, it's the 6th right now. So, I mean, I guess ending would be then the 9th.
The 5th.
But last week. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing the week of the 5th and some pretty good books on the list this week. Some that I was a little surprised at, but then there's a few that, makes sense that I think they're on there.
I can see that. Honestly, there's quite a few books on here that I'm actually a little bit pleased to just not see a straight week of Star Wars. So,
not like a couple weeks ago.
This is a step in the right direction. Yeah, well, that was my last show with you. So, it was a Star Wars show, Cover Price Top 10, and now it's oh my gosh, this is an actual top 10.
It's a good list.
So I'm excited. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think last week was the same way. I think it was a lot of Star Wars.
Well, I mean, I guess I didn't miss much then. No.
But hey, I don't want to waste anybody's time. Everybody in the chat right now, I appreciate you all for showing up. Let us know what books you're looking forward to. If you've already checked out the list, talk with us. We like bouncing ideas off each other. We talk, we give our opinions, but we want to hear yours as well.
Preferably yours. Mine's terrible, so I'm just here to be pretty.
No, you are the Cover Price guy. Let's get that out of the way. This is the Cover Price guy right now.
This is my coming out party, I guess, huh? I'm now social media for Cover Price. So
yeah, that's incredible.
Thanks, man. I'm excited. So I'm gonna try not to screw it up, everybody. Try not to screw it up. You know how it is.
He's talking to me.
See if I can get some lights going here. Yeah.
All right, folks, let's kick this one off. So for Cover Price's top 10 list of books ending September 5th, we got coming in at number 10. Let's bring this up on a bigger screen for you guys. We've got Batman issue number 609. This is the first appearance of Thomas Elliot, who later becomes Hush.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be real with you. I don't know a lot about DC. I just don't. I'm not a big DC guy. I feel like everybody knows that. I talk about it constantly.
I am not a huge DC person myself, but I do know the entire Hush scenario. I know that it's looked at by most Batman fans as one of the penultimate, storylines as far as things go. Within the Batman series, to see that it's coming out now, apparently it's getting adapted into a HBO Max audio story, essentially, kind of like what they did with some of the other Batman stories earlier. They're going to adapt Hush for that, so
that's pretty cool.
I'm guessing that's the reason why that's on the top 10 this week, is that announcement. Considering all the other announcements coming out of Warner Brothers and everything else, it's nice to see them doing something. But of course, really the only thing they can afford to do right now is anything just straight audio related, because I don't know if they can afford to make a movie right now.
Oh, they keep abandoning the projects. One other reason I think it could possibly hit the list, it maybe has any significance to it. So on September 13th, so next week for DC's new comic book day, they are releasing Batman Hush, Batman Day Special Edition, issue number 1. It seems as though it's a free comic book day type thing. It says that it's going to cost $0. So it looks like it's just going to be like a Batman Hush special edition.
Mm-hmm.
So take that for what it is. Maybe people saw that. People are, getting back into the idea of Hush being, around. Or like you said, same thing. They might be making something with it.
Very well could be. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, obviously, with Batman Day. So, I mean, we'll see. But, Batman's been one of the few bright spots when it comes to everything going on. One of the few bright spots for everything going on currently in DC. And I hope that this is all good news, because I'm just afraid. I'm honestly afraid of everything going on right now with Warner Brothers. With the billions lost.
They need something good.
Yeah. Too much money lost. They don't have enough money to even market a movie coming out soon. And it just looks scary for anything DC related right now, content wise.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. If you're a DC fan, it's a tough time to be a DC fan for you guys.
Hard times.
But for this book, I mean, if it is something you're interested in, even specking on, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, CGC sold for $86. It was a 9.6. That happened yesterday on September 4th. So the trend of it is down, despite it being, number 10 on, top 10 selling books. So, I mean, it's not really selling for all that much money. Most common raw, a little under $40, around a 9 to a 9.4. Highest known value, however, on March 12th, it's still not realistically all that bad. Just all things considered, knowing how big of a story Hush really is.
Yes, I would agree with that. To me, this is, I'd buy it. I'm buying. I think that this book is still a good buy, especially going down in the price that it is right now. This is something I'd want in my collection. This is, I think, in my opinion, this is one of those stable Bat stories that's going to be around for a while, that has nothing but ability to be adapted into whatever way, shape, or form Warner Brothers DC can. And I think that if it does, it would be a tremendous story. So I'd buy on this. I'm going to be bullish on this story.
I honestly totally agree with that. I agree with all of that. My thing is while I said earlier, I don't read a lot of DC, I'm not too knowledgeable on it. Batman is Batman. Batman will always be around. And the thing with that is people don't always remember the ongoing stuff and some of those stories, but it's the Batman events that always, stand, the long Halloween and just, that's another good one. And those books will always have value. People will always look at those. So for this, like you said, it's a nice first appearance, and I tend to agree. I think this is probably a better time to buy, seeing that it's on the downtrend of negative 2.56%. And at that rate, maybe the Batman Day brings the value back up a little bit, but I'd keep an eye on it and try to get it around that $30, $40 range for a higher grade of the book.
Yeah, I'm a raw guy, as you're well aware. I mean, a lot of, obviously, people here have no idea, but I'm a 100% raw collector. I do have the occasional slab, but that's usually just because that was the way I could get the book that I wanted, right? Mm-hmm. In this case, I'm not generally a collector of slabs, so I don't normally say to myself, like, boy, I'm going to go get this book. I'm going to get it in a slab. No, I got it raw. And if I were purchasing, I would definitely do it raw, because you're going to get it for a lot more inexpensive, and you could find it at a much more, obviously, ability to press or change or grade, things of that nature. But yeah, this is a good raw to me.
So, well, anybody out there, let's hear your opinions on it too. But we need to move on to the next book.
Next.
So let's see. And next up,
the tween in me is really excited about this, kind of. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I need to lie. I was gonna say
the nostalgia.
Wait, where are we at on this one? It's not, there we go. I was gonna say, all right, we got the next one coming in. This is I'm not reading the series, but I've heard good things. I've heard a lot of good things for this one.
Oh, really? Well, that's cool.
I have. We've got coming in at number 9, the Power Rangers Unlimited, the Death Ranger issue number 1. This just recently came out. I think this came, well, it says it on there, August 31st, 2022. First appearance of Sister Supernova and first appearance of the Death Ranger in their own form. It is on a downtrend, though. So take that for what it is.
But it just came out, too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just the brand new book that's just, to me, in my mind, I just think it's a fucking Power Ranger. I think it's a dope Derek Chew cover, and it's a Death Ranger. Just sounds badass.
It does.
In my opinion. Would I buy on the fact that I think it's going to be worth a lot of money? No, I would strictly be buying this because I was a kid that watched Power Rangers. Tommy is and at the end of the day, Green Ranger all day, White Ranger all day, but this Death Ranger just sounds so dope. I would just look to get this book story-wise. Don't care. I would just grab this book because it just looks freaking dope. I won't lie.
It is a pretty sweet cover. And I know he did say the Derek Chew. We're obviously talking about that one specifically for this book, the Virgin 1 in 25 incentive for, Power Rangers Death Ranger. It is the first appearance. As much as I do like Power Rangers, I've got the hardcovers behind me. I haven't read all of the series just yet. I'm not going to lie. I tend to think those books don't really hold a lot of value. If you look at the, even Power Rangers 1, Go-Go Power Rangers, they're really not that expensive. It's a very, specific group of people who like Power Rangers. And a lot of times I think it is a lot of nostalgia. I had a friend, he was a big fan of the newer series, and he hasn't really kept up with it, mainly because after I think it was Go-Go and Mighty Morphin ended, or no, they did a regular one and they turned it into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and I think just Power Rangers. And that was kind of a turn off to him.
I don't know. I don't collect the comics, to be quite honest. I've got a couple of them. I'm just thinking strictly from the nostalgia standpoint. I've got the first Power Rangers. I got the first appearance of the White Ranger. That's really about it, in all honesty. But would I pay that price for it? No, I mean, it's 1 in 75, which that isn't terrible for, right? Or is it a 1 in 25?
1 in 25.
25? Negative. No, I'm out on that. That's a tap out. I would pay 20 for it, maybe, but
There's really not a lot of sales on it, though. Oh, it's a dope cover. It's a very nice cover, but while it is a first appearance, and I guess, you never really know where they're going to go with some of these characters, what could eventually maybe pop up on a big screen, still is just regular Power Rangers. There's been a ton of other first appearances that nobody particularly cared about. And for something so new like this, to me, this is just like the thing of the week, just recently released, brand new, and it'll die off. While it is selling for what we just say, most common condition, near mint, selling for roughly $50, highest known raw, 85. There's only 13 total sales. I can't imagine this holds a lot of value going forward. I would 100% hold off on this one, my opinion.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I would, like I said, I would just get the book because it's just a dope cover. But in this case, though, for being like an investment, things of that nature, that's a negative. Yeah. No, this would be a sell. This would be a sell. If I had one, I would be selling as soon as possible because that's not going to hold much longer.
I totally agree. If I'm not collecting it to read, I wouldn't be holding on to this one. Realistically, I probably would have sold it by now too.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. So that was number 9. Oh, our favorite one's coming in at number 8. We love to see it. It won't go away. We love to see it.
It's not going to go away. This is the nice house on the lake of last year to this year to something that's killing the children the year before.
It's too popular. And we got coming in at 8 Billion Genies, issue number 1, cover A, done by Ryan Brown. It is still holding strong, and it is still on the upward trend for this. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I honestly am pretty surprised at just how consistent this book has done.
It has not been a roller coaster ride of a lot of these indie books, generally when they first come out. So I am impressed in that regard. I'm just, I don't know. I feel like this is just going to be on the books for a while still before it starts to tinker and come down. I don't know if I would be buying it right now at the price that it's at.
Absolutely.
Just my opinion. I think this is a great book to have. And I think this is a great book to be selling right now. I am not entirely sure this is a book to be buying unless you're getting a great deal on it. Because I don't see it going that with as many books that have been put out of it, and just how far away it is from being actually produced. Um, you know, I just don't see it. I
No.
don't see it being much higher, in my opinion.
I mean, I just casually took a look at eBay. I mean, most common slabbed 9.8 sold for $192. I was gonna say that's roughly it. We've got one on September 4th for 199, and then September 5th 177, and then 175, 215 on September 3rd. So the prices are kind of floating around that 200, a little high, a little low. I, as much as I like the series, I definitely wouldn't be picking it up still. I just wouldn't.
No, I'd wait for it to come down, or honestly, I'd just buy the trade paperback.
That's it.
Still,
It's only going to be, I think, 8 issues. So if you're not someone
Yeah.
who's just you need this to flip or you really want to read it, just hang tight on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a copy, especially that you bought raw, new comic book day, you got that copy, you got that book. In my opinion, yeah, hold on to it, because it'll probably go up still once they start making any casting announcements, if they do. But beyond that, there's way too many copies out there, way too much in circulation to have a lot of longevity, in my opinion. So yeah, I'd let it skate.
And we got consensual sense slots. If I had bought every copy of 8 Billion Genie for my LCS, I would still be holding them just because I'm not a salesman, have no customers.
Well, my friend, join the club.
Yeah. Well, eBay's got you hooked. eBay's got you covered on that one, potentially.
That's true. You're not wrong.
But that was coming in at number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, coming in at number 7. This is a pretty solid. It's a pretty solid list so far, though.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's, I don't know. I'm definitely happy with some of the books in it. The next one I'm a little confused by, but still, that's just me. It's not that I'm confused by it. People are obviously buying it to get on the list. I'm not confused as to why it's on the list because it's trending. I'm just confused as to, is it really valued? That's my opinion.
I agree with that. So we've talked about this one coming in at number 7 2 weeks ago. We've got Web of Spider-Man, issue number 118, direct edition. This is the first appearance of the Scarlet Spider. I'm surprised it's still on the list. I'll put it that way. I really didn't think it was going to continue on like this. I thought it was going to be a quick little pop, but it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there, but I mean, is it really doing much? I mean, it's just kind of treading water after coming out of nowhere for a little bit, giving some staying power. I mean, Scarlet Spider was one of my favorite things about the 90s and the change coming in with the different spider situations. I did like the whole clone concept of, no, it was the real Peter actually got sent to the wrong place. I enjoyed the entire concept of it all, but I just don't necessarily see the importance of it on a mediocre story that's happening right now. Right. Because I haven't heard anything, like that it's like a groundbreaking new series that just came out of Marvel and all the changes that are going on. To me, it's just kind of like more of the same, just a quick change of Peter, and
it's a pretty rough series. I haven't read the big, what was it, issue number 8, whatever the big issue was. I didn't end up reading that. I missed out on it. I've still been picking up the other ones, but I haven't re-caught up. It's just not that good. Another Spider-Man series for Spider-Man fans to be let down on.
Yeah, that's, I guess, in my opinion, that's the only reason why I would still sell. This is a sell to me. This is just, if you've got it, get rid of it, because I don't see it really going up much higher for a good reason for a while.
To really think about things, though, even though the series is terrible, and yes, Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly is in that series, the way that Marvel, like MCU wise, is doing a lot of stuff with variants. We know Secret Invasion is going to be happening, so we got some scrolls too. You just don't know their idea, the whole multiverse. They're obviously going to be doing something with clones as well at some point. They just have to. And that could be maybe another big event that they casually sneak in there, because I'm pretty sure they said that they're doing a few other things that they haven't really talked about. It doesn't have to be on a massive scale, like whatever they're doing with Secret Invasion stuff. But if they do like a small little like Clone Wars type of thing, or
we have to rely on Sony for that, and that's where again I'm just kind of like wah, wah, wah. I'm just I mean, I like Sony for a lot of things. I love it for my PlayStation.
That's about it.
I love it for a lot of other movies. I've just not been impressed with the Spider side of things. I've not unless Marvel was directly involved like it was for the Spider-Man movies. Those I totally enjoyed 100%. But the other things, everything else so far, that's a negative, son. So trusting them to pull off Ben Reilly, they did it with Miles. Maybe Ben's going to show up in the Spider-Verse. But again, okay,
I thought about that
like
too.
Another cartoon. It's just another cartoon with a 1,000 other Spider cameos in it. Is it going to be worth anything?
But if that's the case, look at some of the other first appearances that have been selling for a lot of money, mainly because of the Into the Spider-Verse. They're saying, oh, there's going to be all of these different just Spider. And some we've seen some of those books start to actually sell for a nice chunk of money. What was it? Spider-Man 2099's in there. That book exploded for a hot second. And it is what it is. It's the cartoon animation, and it comes down to, is it officially going to be MCU? Is it going to get brought into it then?
So from what I've heard, though, this is the largest ensemble cast ever in any superhero film.
That's what I was reading.
That means there's going to be hundreds of spiders that are all going to get shown in there for a brief second, zipping through different layers of the multiverse or whatever the heck it is that's going on. And in my opinion, it's going to be Sony's doing a shotgun blast and just seeing what sticks. And to me, while it's cool, it's really hard to gamble on than with my comic book characters, because at the same time too, I know who matters in comics, and it doesn't always translate to screen. So otherwise we wouldn't still be dealing with hoping that we could get a Miles Morales in live action. It's just only animated.
For now.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but I am still not bullish on this book. That's just me. I still think this is, to me, it's a sell. Is there potential with spiders? Every day. But do I see Marvel doing anything with it, with all the other crap they've got going on, like Marvel proper? No. I feel like I'm just waiting for them to let Sony kind of just keep on screwing things up over on their side until they can't make enough money so they can buy it back. That's my opinion.
The problem with that is I feel like Sony is just pumping out these movies as like fast and as many as they can, and they're just going to sell everything to Marvel as one massive package. Like, oh, if you want Spider-Man, you're going to have to take all of our Venom, Carnage, Morbius. You're going to have to take it all.
Oh yeah, it'd be the whole package, 100%. It'd be the contract back. That's what the contract was. So I don't see them just collectively getting the rights to the one character, because that would be what's the use of the Spider-Verse without the spider? So in my opinion, I just feel like I feel like Marvel's just letting them tank it at this point.
Marvel's probably sitting there watching it like, man, if you put Miles in there, we're gonna be so upset. A real Miles, like an actual character,
Yeah, that's probably the one thing that would stop Marvel.
What if though? How crazy would it be if we get to see the next like Into the Spider-Verse movie? I don't even know what it's called, but the whole animated movie, and then all of a sudden maybe Miles gets like sucked through a portal at the very end and he's a real person and not animated.
That'd be cool.
And that's just kind of how it ends.
Yeah, it would be cool. It'd be cool as 100%. I would be here for it all day, as long as he goes into the MCU, not
right. That's it.
The Sonyverse. I cannot. If he goes into the Sonyverse, God bless Miles. Please be with you, my friend. But
I know.
Yeah.
Consensual Sense Slots did say that we did wrap up a Ben Reilly solo title run of Spider-Man this year. We did. It was I believe it was a 5-issue miniseries. I heard it was pretty solid. I didn't read it though, mainly because I was so disgusted with everything with Spider-Man to begin with, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not even going to waste my money on it. But I did hear by the end it was pretty satisfying.
And he was really mad about the paper.
Oh man, they fixed most of it. I think. Hopefully, I haven't had a real problem lately.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But that's everything for Web of Spider-Man issue number 118, first appearance of Scarlet Spider. If any of you've got something to throw in there, please let us know. And now we are heading on to, what are we on? Number 6 now, I think?
Yes, this is number 6.
Number 6. We've got... That isn't right. It's crazy how it gets so backwards on my screen share. It's like it goes like from top to bottom, and then all of a sudden it gets mixed up.
Huh. That is
But
weird.
we've got at number 6, Detective Comics, issue number 1063. This is the Yoshitaka Amano 1 in 25 incentive. That's a pretty sweet cover. And it's up 3.02%. Last sale was $75 raw. And I'm guessing this is most likely a card stock. So for the most part, I'm sure a lot of them are probably high grades.
9.8. Yeah.
Yeah. The DC's card stock, I'm going to be honest with you. DC's card stock is pretty
Legit.
good. Yeah. It's not like some of the other publishers where they have a card stock, but it still feels like that kind of cheap paper. I know Marvel's done that for a few books. But DC's, when you hold their cardstock covers, that extra $1, I feel like you get your extra $1 worth.
Oh, I don't disagree. Yeah, this book's it's a good looking book, but I mean, there's lots of good looking variants out there. To me, it's just
what really
I mean, I'll let you
separates this one from the other ones. That's the thing.
To me, it's beautiful. But it's just, to me, it reminds me of everything that was happening with Peach Momoko when she first started putting out everything she did. Didn't matter what it was, 50, 100, 150, 200, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Now, 20, 30, 35, 15.
Yep. They're not selling for what they were.
Well, but it was strictly just based on the art. And at the time it was great, but then all of a sudden it became so saturated everywhere that it kind of lost a little bit of its, what made it special. And I mean, we'll see. This is still a beautiful cover. I just don't know if it's, to me, for a 1 in 25, I don't necessarily see anything key about it, just that it's a beautiful cover.
So one thing about it, it's not listed on cover prices, but I'm almost 100% sure that Detective Comics 1063 is the first brand new series with Ram V writing it. So he took over the Detective Comics run, I believe, on this issue. And that could maybe play, a role in it. Brand new writer, Detective Comics series. They did it with Tinian when he took over Batman. They said, Tinian's books, they were selling for a lot of money because we got a brand new writer on Batman, had a bunch of first appearances, and you never know.
Yeah, I guess I just kind of look to the cover A's for that stuff. And
me too.
When I see them with no change whatsoever, just regular cover price, I'm lackadaisical. To me, that feels like we're just running this on the art. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm definitely a buyer if it's $20.
I was gonna say if it's like 20 or $25, I think that's worth it. But for the last sale to literally be $75, I don't know about that one.
I just think somebody overpaid.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, most common, it says 9 to 9.4 is around $38. I still think that's way too high. I think those grades, it should be about 20-ish. 9.8, I could see $30 to $40. I still wouldn't pay that much, but I could rationalize that.
Yeah, I could too. 100%. But no, I can't. Just looking at the raws for the A's and the B's, to me, that's the tell when it comes to the variance, because that just means that the variance in these ratios just have too much room to fall. If the A is ticking up and it's running above what it was cover price wise, I'd say, this has potential. Maybe it's there. But to me, to see this and the B just still listed on exactly the same price it was when it was on sale the week before.
Yeah.
Nah. It's just special. To me, it's art. To me, it's just straight the art, and that to me feels like 90 days tops.
I can agree.
That's a flip investment to me.
Yeah, that's exactly how this one seems to me. I wouldn't be buying it for these prices. It doesn't exactly seem too worth it.
My opinion's the same, my friend. But it's still, like I said, still beautiful book. I am very, very, very impressed by how gorgeous it is. But at the end of the day, would I pay that much for it?
Especially, you know, with no real first appearance, nothing super significant. No. The only thing that I could rationalize is that it's Rom V taking over the Detective Comics series, and it's the 1 in 25 incentive. But outside of that, Ultimate Power, Amano is the selling point. It's Amano fans buying them for comic for appearances. Honestly, I
can appreciate that. I can appreciate that.
And I do have something before I forget, because I forgot to mention it earlier. I got kind of a topic to talk about when we hit the end of this video, because I knew some of these books that we talked about a few times, and I knew some of them we didn't really have a whole lot to say about, because there's really, you know, nothing special about the book. But it's something that a few people have been asking me about, and especially in the Whatnot auctions I've been doing. If you guys don't know, I do Whatnot auctions. I work for my LCS. We have really good conversations. I have a really good time talking with everybody. But a few people bring up some stuff with me constantly, and they always want to hear my opinion on it. So I would love to hear everyone else's opinion, and definitely yours as well, because it's a pretty popular thing right now.
We're going to be putting me on the spot. Great.
It won't be no, it's nothing bad. It's nothing crazy.
Nothing
it's just
controversial. Just
no, I don't. I don't like throwing people on the spot like that. I think that's unfair.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's I wouldn't want someone to do that to me, so I wouldn't, you know, that's
no gotcha journalism today. No gotcha YouTubing today.
No, nothing like that. But we are down to our top 5, and I'm gonna be honest, before I bring up number 5, I feel like the list has been not a lot of really crazy books, like nothing that stands out where I'm like, yes, I think this is fantastic. And realistically, the one that I think is the best is still 8 Billion Genies. Personally,
that's definitely the most. To me, it's between 8 Billion Genies though and Hush. I'm not gonna lie, and I only say that because Batman's. This has been around. That book's been here for a minute. It's living strictly on the story and the fact that it was. I mean, this is back from 2002, man. This is a 20-year-old book. Yeah. In my opinion, right now, I would say Hush and then 8 Billion Genies. Because to me, still, while 8 Billion Genies has been groundbreaking and amazing, I still feel like it's running on the fact that it's just that new flavor in a lot of palettes. So
I agree.
You know,
I tend to tell people to stay away from indies for that reason. You know, indies, they pop and then they're not worthless, but they basically are. Look at Stray Dogs. It's not anything what it used to be. It got oversaturated. And 8 Billion Genies really isn't on that level. But no. I mean, Noctera was the same way. Geiger was the same way. It wasn't on this scale that 8 Billion Genies is selling for. But still, it's one of those books that becomes very popular. Yes.
That's yet at the same time, too. Because, I mean, Image didn't necessarily know right off the bat that this is going to be fantastic. But they're also the people that made Stray Dogs. They're also the people that made Noctera and all these additional extra copies, 2nd print, 3rd print, 5th print, 8th print, you know, so-and-so variant, special SDCC, NYCC exclusives, whatever, you know, the door is still open for 8 Billion Genies to go sideways, in my opinion. But Hush isn't going to, I mean, yeah, it's going to have a little bit of market fluctuation, but it got here on its merits of just being a fantastic story within the Batman, you know, mythos. So to me, I'm going to run with Batman as my number 1, but 8 Billion Genies is definitely close.
Respect. Those are good number 1, 2 choices. But we've got coming in for number 5. This is another one that's, you know, I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but it is very popular right now. We've got Marvel's The Sensational She-Hulk, issue number 1. No, I mean, the only thing is it's Sensational She-Hulk, issue number 1. No first appearances, nothing crazy like that. And my thought is I really don't like the She-Hulk show. I just don't. I've
I get
talked
it.
about it. I've talked about it with a ton of people. We've covered this. I think when She-Hulk 1 was on the list a few weeks ago. She-Hulk issue number 1, or
I think
some
so.
other. It was one of those. My thing is I'm tired of the comedy. I get that this show is a comedy, which means it automatically probably wasn't going to be for me. I don't like the 20-minute episodes, and it feels like everything is very rushed, and there's not a great story that's being built. I think they go for a lot of cheesy one-liners. A lot of the script and the dialogue feels very cheap and empty. And that's just my opinion. I know people really like it. I know people sit down and they're like, this is a great show. This is funny. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and teach their own. I want to sit down and watch a Marvel show, and I'm not really enjoying it. I didn't enjoy Moon Knight for a different reason. I thought that was a boring as all hell show. I liked episode number 2 for this one. 2 was better than 1. I really didn't like 3 at all. I don't know. What do you think about the show? I don't think I actually really talked to you about it.
We did talk about it. We did talk about it. I do enjoy the show. I do. I enjoy it though because it's a comedy, right? To me, it is supposed to be, because I remember reading the Sensational She-Hulk, and it was never a comic that I was supposed to take seriously. It was never that comic that was just like, let's get in deep on this crazy. It's just like, it's always a like, what are you looking at? Kind of like look over at the camera every single time.
I do like that. I like the little office thing that they did with that.
Yes, and to me, this show is probably, out of so far the comics adapted, the most accurate to the comics, at least character development wise, as opposed to Ms. Marvel, as opposed to Moon Knight, as opposed to so many other different shows that we've been getting. This has been more accurate, as far as things go. So I'm not disappointed with She-Hulk. I am enjoying She-Hulk for what it is, which to me is it's meant to be a bit more of a joyride. In my opinion, with Marvel, it's not meant to be anything crazy, but we'll see where it goes, because seeing the characters that are getting reintroduced here, like I was just talking about with my daughter on the way in to take her to school today, and she enjoys She-Hulk, and that's great, but like our big thing was just like, oh my gosh, Maddie's coming back. We're gonna get Maddie back. We're gonna get Daredevil, and I know it's not going to be the same Netflix version, and I'm okay with that, because the Netflix version wasn't something I could enjoy with a lot of people or talk about at the office, with all the different things that were going on with it all the time. But I do know though that Charlie Cox just nailed that Daredevil. He was the best Daredevil that I've ever seen adapted. Yeah, and to me, in my mind, just to get to see him finally be it again, even though we're in the yellow and the red, which is just the weirdest freaking Daredevil outfit in my mind, but I know that it's classic. But I don't know. I'll be interested to see where it goes. I will be interested to see where it goes. I am mostly invested right now, though, to see which members of the Netflix universe might start sneaking across. Because if we get Matt back, and we got Kingpin back, honestly, everybody else could go, but I would really love to get Jessica Jones. And
I was going to say, she needs to come
Kristen
back.
Ritter. Kristen Ritter just was such a she was such a
good.
It was great. She was great. And that was the other thing, because Gwen and I were talking about it, was just like, that means if Matt's back, like that means we could get Jessica back. And to me, that would be it. That's it. Like everybody else can go recast, retcon, whatever the heck we got to do. But if I can get those two back, then that is my Netflix universe. I know everybody wants the Punisher too with John Blumenthal, and I get it. But boy, is that entire thing right now just toxic AF to try and add into anything storyline wise right now. But Daredevil and Jessica, I think, could be great. Just my opinion.
No, that's like completely spot on. I can't imagine there's not a lot of people that think that same thing. However, with AWL, I think he hit it completely on the head. Despite what I just said, I'm okay with the comedy. I wish it wasn't, but I knew going into it that this was going to be a comedy, and I took that for exactly what it was.
Mhm.
I think the writing is terrible. I like when she looks off screen. I like the freeze frames and she has that little office moment and then it kind of like zooms in and she explains something. I like the other odd interactions. I just like not the effects, but I like the layout and the style of what they're doing. I think it's very well done. I truly agree with you, Al. I think the script is so bad. I think the dialogue is horrible. I think the interactions are horrible. But the actual layout of the show itself, I think they've done a great job with it. I think they're on to something. I think it's a good idea going forward if they want to try another comedy. But it's not landing. Gustavo, I like the twerking. I actually didn't think that was real. I thought the post that people were making, I thought that was like photoshopped or something. And when it was real, I mean, it goes both ways. People are like, "Oh my god, they did that," and other people are like, "That's funny. It's a comedy. It is what it is." I was on the side of like, I can't believe they did that. I like why it, why I just that's it. I just says why.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm going to agree to disagree. I'm enjoying it. So
No,
you know.
that's good. And
But yes, I do feel like they definitely did a disservice to my girl, Ms. Marvel. I do feel like they did a disservice to Kamala, but it was still a good show, but it wasn't the Kamala that I'm familiar with and that I've really enjoyed. But yes, I am enjoying this show though more than some of the other shows lately, especially in that regard.
that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying
In
it.
that regard. Well, we can disagree. That's the good part about this.
Yeah.
You know, we can disagree with each other and we don't hate each other. Like some people on the internet can disagree and
that's the end.
We take it all personally. No, we don't take anything personally.
Probably know it's going to get better. Maybe, like I said, second episode wasn't bad. So maybe it gets better.
I mean, is it going to? I don't know. I mean, it could get worse too. I mean, I kept on saying that though about Moon Knight the entire time. Maybe it's going to get better. Maybe it's going to get better. Maybe it's good. No. Well, we're at episode 5. Maybe it's going to be done soon.
That was it. Hopefully, it just ends.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
So before we move on to the next one, then here's at least just some more of the numbers. It is a little bit more on the downtrend. Highest known value CGC 9.8 at 408. There's a ton of sales, 1,700. You know, that's a most common slab, $200 for 9.8. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's a pretty fair price. Maybe 170, 180.
Yeah, I agree with that.
For Sensational She-Hulk issue number 1. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair price. Would I buy into it? No. To me, I'd spend probably $20 on this book, realistically.
You know, at the end of the day, this book was not selling for a lot more than that, you know, when it was announced. And before that, it wasn't a lot less than this. That's still fairly consistent for this book. I wouldn't get too caught up in the slab prices because, again, like that's just not me.
I agree.
This book is not a storyline. This book is not a plot line. This isn't about a new key. This is about really establishing the She-Hulk that made everything popular about She-Hulk. And that was her fourth wall breaking well before Deadpool, things of that nature. This is the character. She's just goofy. She's meant to be that lark in the Marvel universe of, people just looking for the absolutely audacious and goofy and crazy and strange. And without it being totally, what's his name, Howard the Duck. But, they get enough of those crossovers anyways. There's a reason for that. So in my opinion, this is what it is. I mean, would I pay $10-15 for the book? Yep. Would I pay more than that? No. But that's just because at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with She-Hulk as the TV show, in my opinion. This has just got everything to do with it just being, just the character Jennifer Walters kind of concept of just being that goofy character. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I don't think this book is going to be worth more than that, in my opinion.
I agree.
Not for any good reason other than the fact that the TV show's on right now. No other good reason.
I mean, before the TV show, nobody really cared, so
can't. No, and I won't lie, I didn't either. I only started to read the books because I heard about all the cameos and stuff that would be in it. I'm just like, well, I feel like I should just know a little something about this character, and I was kind of Well, I enjoyed the comics more than I thought I would. I won't lie. Thank you, Marvel app.
I heard
I won't.
comics are good for him, or good for him.
Here they're good for a
I
laugh
think
once in a while. And in this case, I did enjoy a few laughs. So, taking it for what it is in that nature, it was all right. It was all right.
Good. But we're down to our final four. We've got coming
The
in
Fab Four.
at number 4 this week. We've got Marvels. This is a new one. We've got Thunderbolts. Issue number 1. This is the 1 in 25 Sekira Incentive. It's actually a pretty cool cover. And wow, very on the downtrend despite it coming in at number 4. We are at negative 12.43%. Last recorded raw sale was $26. And to be honest, I think that's probably pretty fair for this. 25 bucks. These are the other covers. Far left, that is cover A. David Nakayama did that one. This one, it doesn't say on here, but this one does have a first appearance.
Yeah, I can't remember who this is supposed to be, though.
It's Guts and Glory. I believe that was the name, which is crazy because does this come up if I click it? Cool. So this is cover A for it, David Nakayama. Yeah. It doesn't have it on here either. So this is the first appearance of Guts and Glory. That is him in the far left side. This guy down here, I don't remember this character's name off the top of my head. He didn't appear in the book itself. So this one doesn't have a first appearance for that character, but is the first cover appearance for that character. And it actually was surprisingly a pretty decent issue. I'm not going to lie. I was really surprised by it. I was very surprised. I didn't think I was going to like it.
I've got it right over here. I mean, I am looking right at it. I have not read it yet.
I think I actually have it right here too. I went. I did.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have
actually.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have to do a read on this, and because that's interesting.
I went into it thinking it was going to be a really stupid, just cheesy Marvel,
trash.
I mean, they're obviously going to come out with a Thunderbolts series. They're hyping up the Thunderbolts. They are, it's the new thing. So what do? They're going to come out with a brand new series, and realistically, it's probably going to suck like a lot of other modern Marvel. I was a little surprised. So it's basically you've got Clint, Hawkeye. They reach out to him and they're like, hey, we need you to just take over this new Thunderbolts team after everything that happened in Devil's Reign. And the Devil's Reign Villains for Hire, whatever that one was with Fisk at the end of the Daredevil series that Chip Zdarsky did. So now basically everybody that you're looking at on this front cover for cover A is going to be part of the new Thunderbolt squad, except Monica Rambeau right there. They're still on the fence with her. But everybody else, it's going to be like the new Thunderbolts team. And the way that I looked at this was, no, it's probably not going to be the Thunderbolts that we see in the MCU. But if we really want to think about it, we already have Hawkeye. We've got America Chavez. We've got Monica Rambeau. No, we don't have Power Fist. And is that supposed to be Kate Bishop? I think that's supposed to be Kate Bishop too. So she's obviously there. No, we don't have Guts and Glory or whoever that guy is at the bottom. But what if they treat the other Thunderbolts as all of the bad guys, and now they bring in a brand new team with all fresh superheroes, and that's where they're going with it? And this is still an extremely cheap book. Cover A is. It's extremely cheap.
Yeah. It's cover price pretty much almost, isn't it? It's
cover price.
Much. Yeah, it's $5, 100%.
So
it's Dave Nakayama. Do it.
That too. He keeps doing all of these awesome covers on I'm not saying the Thunderbolts is terrible, but on like these terrible series. Like he did all of the Spider-Gwen ones that just came out. That was such a horrible read, but he had such great covers.
Yeah. It's my guy. I love I love his books.
You've done at least one interview that I watched. You may have done two.
A few.
I've done a few with him. It may have been two.
Yeah, and I got to see him a little bit at the last con, which was nice. So it's been good. Awesome. It's been good. Dave's a good guy. Dave's one of the real dudes. But in this case, I'll have to read it, man. I'm digging what you've got to say about it. I've not really read Marvel in a long time. Modern Marvel is something I usually don't do, but this cover though, I just think this cover is awesome.
It's a cool cover.
I just love the spray painting and everything over it, and just Hawkeye to me that just feels a lot more fun. So And I never read the Devil's Reign series, so I don't really know.
That is a slight issue that Marvel's been doing. I feel like Marvel does these events and they don't mean a single thing. And now all of a sudden they decide to do the Devil's Reign and it's like tying into damn near everything. It's like, well, it's like, come on with this. It was the last Daredevil series. It's the current Daredevil series. This Thunderbolt series is dealing with it. And I'm pretty sure Spider-Man did for a little bit as well. And it's like, man, they're really going in on this
They're
event.
really letting that one actually happen. Unlike all those X-Men ones.
Those don't even exist realistically. That's their own
world. That's a whole other universe. That's not even a part of Marvel anymore.
No, it's just X-Men
universe.
So one thing with this one that I did honestly really like is I felt as though the pacing was really well done. And even on some characters that you didn't really know a whole lot about, or maybe, you just don't have as much knowledge on, they gave like a little profile in there too. And then kind of what their affiliation is going to be, I guess, with the Thunderbolts, because it's like you have Hawkeye and he goes, oh, we should have someone like this. And they're like, we got you covered. We already have this person. And it's like, oh, wow. And they get introduced. And then we also had some action. It just surprisingly a pretty solid first issue.
Cool. I will have to check it out. I might even have to look for that cover, but it's going to have to be around. Well, I guess because there's a first appearance in there and we've got a show potentially coming with maybe some new characters, maybe, but I don't know. $20-$25. I wouldn't go a dime over.
I was going to say, I think 20 is fair. And so, I mean, we got the last recorded sale, $26 raw for 9 to 9.4. I think 9.8, I'd spend $25. Like solid 9.8 candidate. But the rest of that, I mean, highest known raw was $65.
Yeah, that's enough.
Hey, someone was probably thinking the same thing. Maybe they thought, I'm going to get a jump on this one.
That's a no for me, son. That's a no for me.
But that is my thoughts on the Thunderbolts. In my opinion, for cover A, it's still on shelves. There's a first appearance in it. Get it for cover price. It has a pretty solid read too. I don't think there's anything you can do to go wrong with this one. I would pick it up if I was you.
I agree. Pretty dope. Dope.
This next one's actually really interesting. I had to do a little bit of research on this one. So coming in at number 3, we've got Trespasser, issue number 1 from Alterna Comics. I have never heard of Alterna Comics. I have never heard of this book. So I had to look it up.
Good. I'm glad you did, because I had no clue. When I saw this on there, I'm like, oh, no. Well, I'm not going to help with that one.
So what happened is as you can tell from the cover, let me bring it back up. Well, you can't really tell from this one. If you can see is this going to bring up cover B or whatever this is? It has to do with aliens. It's a limited series, and I'm pretty positive what I read was that it not only got optioned, but they found a director for it. So it's like the next step. But I mean, looking at it, it's a $1.50 comic from a publisher I've literally never heard of. And I know someone
$71 right now.
Yeah, 71 up 10%. The prices on this one were actually crazy on eBay when I looked them up last week. And last week, if you didn't keep up with the cover price of top 10, this was actually the number 1 last week's list. And I had someone who looked into Alterna just a little bit. Looked into the Trespasser book. I'll see if I can bring up Alterna Comics just so you can get an idea of the type of stuff that they sell. My opinion,
should be concerned.
Not for me.
It's not for
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's
not good.
Well, all right. Is it up?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
So, all right, cool. There we go. So that first book, you're looking at it correct. It's Baron Rat and Cheeseland. And then I'm not even sure what the title of this one is. When something. And then Wolf and Batsby. It's very, very indie. And I'm not like just pushing it off to the side where I don't think I would read it. But, you do get some little previews. And on all of these quick views, it seems as though none of the artwork is standing out to me. And it doesn't really seem, based on the titles and some of the descriptions, they don't really have anything that I'm I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So based on that, I do like aliens. I like those weird monster stories. I would not be spending this type of money at all on this.
No.
Like,
No, that's like, I don't see this being something that's killing the children and nobody ever heard of it.
oh, absolutely not.
You know, and that's just it. This is just frenzy meeting FOMO with a side of not many people have heard of the publisher, let alone the comics. So everybody's just trying to find one. So it's got that scarcity to it, in my opinion. I love alien stories. I'm a big sci-fi nut. Surprised I hadn't heard about this stuff, but at the end of the day, I hope it does great, guys. But I would not be buying for that price.
No.
At all.
And now, if you are interested even remotely in this one, on their website, this 96-page giant, that's the complete series. $5. Near mint, find some creases. You know, if it's a fine, $4. Reader copy, $3. And that's for the whole series. So take that for what it is. If you're actually interested in it, and then you can use, you know, your own judgment call. And if you want to purchase the, you know, first print cover A that's selling for damn near $50-$60 on eBay. But personally, that is not the route I would be going.
You know, they make a lot of stupid movies.
They do.
You know, there's Zombievers, there's Velocipaster, there's Lamageddon. You know, just because it's a movie doesn't mean it's going to be any good. So, you know, just saying.
So
anybody who saw Doctor Strange can tell you.
Come on. I liked it when I saw it, but I get the story was bad.
Oh, man.
Next up, we got a fun one.
I'm looking forward to the year revisit I get to do on the Illuminati issue of the Avengers. Oh. For real. Yeah.
And people are buying that one. People were buying it quite a lot.
Oh, people were buying quite a lot of them. There's gonna be a lot of salty comments on that one. A lot of like,
So this is a fun one. At number 2 is Dark Horse Presents issue 36. You can tell from this cover, if you know monsters, if you're interested in that stuff, first Aliens versus Predator. This is a good key, and in my opinion, this does not sell for a lot of money at all. Last reported sale, estimated at a fine though, so it is lower grade, $6. Most common, $7 to $8.50, $9. I've seen this book float around in $5 bins, dollar bins. Granted, the dollar bins, they're absolutely destroyed. But this is something that a lot of people don't particularly care about, so a lot of people do pass on it. Me, I've had multiple copies of this one before in the past. I keep aiming to get the higher grades, and I'm not finding them right now. But it's it's Aliens versus Predator. Marvel's got the Alien series. They got a Predator series. They just came out with Prey. It is popular. People like it. All it has to do is catch a little bit more fire, and people are going to be more interested in this stuff. And they're going to say, oh, well, I want the old Alien stuff, the old Predator stuff. Yes. Oh, my God, they fought each other. I need that issue too.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this is very cheap. This is extremely cheap. It seems like a no-brainer if you're interested in any sort of investments. You're seeing where Marvel's going, and just in general.
Yeah, this has been new life breathed into the franchise, getting back to the roots of just what it was, not meant to be just this splash and gore fest, but just like, you know, the anticipation, the anxiety, the craziness that was Predator with Prey, and that was, I think, the beauty of it. And I think if they can begin to capture some of that, there is some tremendous things ahead for these two different series, let alone them coming together, because the two that came together were trash. But this comic is a buy all damn day, all day. This is just classic comics. This is what begat those movies, the video games, all that stuff. This was just like, you know what would be really crazy? What would be really crazy? Let's just do freaking Predator versus who? Aliens. Holy shit. You know, everybody just went melted fit, like, yes, let's do it. Because I mean, these guys had no related universes in any way, shape, or form. It was just like, let's do it. So to me, in my mind, this is Penn's ultimate 90s. right? This is the 90s. This is the 80s, but with that 90s gloss of just like, we just got to make it crazier too. Like the 80s where it was like, it's going to be gross and crazy and all over the place, but it's like, it's going to be really crazy in the 90s. And that's to me what this is. This is that price. This is a buy all day. I would definitely get my hands on copies of this and just have it in my collection, because at the end of the day, these two characters are not going anywhere in horror. These are characters that are going to be sticking around in the this is going to be the sci-fi Freddy versus Jason, right? This is going to be that science fiction side of monsters, Godzilla versus Kong, Predator versus Alien. This is that thing. And this is their first appearance. I don't see this comic going anywhere bad. I don't see this ever becoming a bad investment. This is
I don't
great,
think so either. What I will say though is that is obviously, you know, that we do have a variant cover as well, and I feel like I tend to find this one more often. So just be on the lookout for this one too. It's just Dark Horse Presents issue number 36. I don't find a lot of I don't really find high grades for most of these. It's always just banged up copies. And I mean, look at even this most common 7 to 8.5. The last sale was a fine at $6. So that should say something if the most common is only a 7 to an 8.5.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for it. Highest known sales, CGC 380. On the upward trend, 19.42%. So obviously a lot of people are buying this up for whatever reasons. Maybe it is because Marvel officially finally released their Predator series. They did an Alien series. At some point, it's a no-brainer. Why would Marvel not do Alien versus Predator if they're doing both separate series? Just my take on that.
And the success of Prey. Prey was just so successful.
It was really good too.
It was really good. It was a good story all around. So yeah, 100%.
I was reading a comment from somebody that said, you know, Prey was so successful. It was great. And there was really nothing too crazy about it. They just dropped Predator off in whatever time frame that was. They said, why don't they just do that for all different times in history? Like throw his ass in with the samurais or something, or do something like that. And I was like, whoa, I'm about that. Yeah. Imagine like Predator versus
feudal
samurais.
Japan.
Yeah, that would be
throw him in feudal Japan. That'd be great. No, 100%. And that's just it. I think that they just got so far away from what Predator was, which was in so many different ways. It was a suspense movie. It was scary, but it was suspense. You didn't know, like all of a sudden, wha-bam, arm gone. You know, it's just like wha-bam, claws through the dude. And it's just, but it was that tight frame, close face, and all of a sudden something's happening. That was suspense. And that was, to me, that was cool. So yeah, I'm there for it. Predator in an Ewok village. Yeah. Oh God.
Good Lord.
That's great.
They're done. But this we're down to our final one, and this is going to be your favorite one.
Bum, bum, ba-dum,
your favorite one of the night. Coming in at number 1 is Marvel's Star Wars issue number 26, cover A. I am very surprised this is still on the list, and not just on the list, but at number 1.
This is what, third week?
No,
fourth week?
Was 2 weeks ago. It was number 1 with like every other cover in existence. Last week was Trespassers for whatever reason, and now it's back to number 1 again.
I mean, that's mean, but I'm just not. I get it. It's a key, but whatever.
Is it a key though? There's so many Star Wars books that are deemed as a key because of a first appearance. Yeah. However, I understand where people's logic is coming from on this. This is what we talked about a couple weeks ago. First appearance of Ambassador Givens, Major Sharon, General Paulton, and Kira's nephew and niece, John and Beverly. So it's not just one regular first appearance. There's multiple. Now you've got a book with an opportunity where, you know, you've got 4 different first appearances. Something could potentially come of one of them, and now all of a sudden you got it because there's, you know, you got 4 or 5 possibilities. I get it, but I don't understand the $20 price tag, $19 price tag on it. You know, most common 16 from a 9 to a 9.4. It's just, I don't know.
I equate this to Batman last year, from, you know, Punchline to Miracle Molly to all these other different, every single day. It was a new Batman key, new Batman key, new Batman key, new Batman key, new Batman key. And I was just so tired of it. And I feel like Marvel is just like, well, it's not selling Star Wars. All right. Well, you know, we're gonna make some new TV shows, so let's just make a bunch of new characters up real quick and throw them in the books, so that way people have to kind of keep on purchasing. To me, this just feels like a cash grab. Just we're just throwing in some characters to see what sticks, because the people that are getting developed right now, yes, the Mandalorian and Grogu were 100% super cool, but they're really one-offs. I don't see any of these guys getting a solo show. They might show up, but you know, hey, how's Andor? How's that first appearance of Andor looking? He's got his own TV show. I don't even think that's worth $20. And you guys are betting the farm on these four?
Is that show out?
Cassian Andor? No, but I mean, it's coming out.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't keep up with it.
Well, it's they've got the previews out, and to be honest, it looks freaking dope. It does, 100%. But I just think it's all.
Yeah, this is to me a $10 book at absolute most. I respect the love people have for Star Wars. I respect that there's 4 different first appearances, or 5, whatever I said before. 5 different first appearances, but to be spending $20 plus on the potential of these 5 first appearances, no. There's too many Star Wars first appearances that are nothing, and to me, it's probably nothing. And say one of them does pop off and one of them does make it into something, realistically, what's the role? Probably nothing. It's going to be a small role, and it ain't going to do much.
No, I agree, 100%.
And
not here for it.
Yeah, that is the top 10 list from Cover Price this week. I'd say overall, decent list. I think there was a lot more books on there that I wouldn't suggest buying. There's a lot more that if you had, I would sell. My opinion, though, I still think 8 Billion Genies is probably the best one on the list. However, that Alien vs. Predator first appearance, what was that? Dark Horse Presents 36. That's probably going to be the number one for me, mainly due to the success of Prey. Marvel's use of Predator and Aliens right now, it's only a matter of time before they combine them into their own little series, 5-issue miniseries, whatever it be. It's going to come at some point. So maybe hold on to one of those copies, find them in the back bins. They are there. Everybody gave Marvel a lot of crap too. It's like, Marvel's got Aliens. Marvel's got Predator. It's going to be terrible. That was me. It's great. Good. They're good. I've been impressed. They've been. The Alien series died off a little bit, but you know what? It's better than I thought they could have done with it. I was surprised because, I mean, there wasn't a lot of places you could go left after the Dark Horse, many different directions, which is basically just all splatter and F-bombs every single other word. But anyway, to me, the best value on this is 100% Dark Horse Presents. To me, the most stable buy on this is Batman Hush. And to me, the most interesting that's probably going to be on here for a while longer is 8 Billion Genies. And that's just because they've still got more time for things to go. But I would be selling it. So to me, the best buy is Dark Horse Presents. The best sell is 8 Billion Genies. And I would say if I were buying a stock and I were looking for it like, just a bond that I'm going to invest in and it's going to keep that consistent value, Batman, this first issue of Hush, first appearance key, to me, that is your stable one. 8 Billion Genies has got nowhere to go but down, in my opinion, and Dark Horse Presents has got nowhere to go but up. I'm almost buy, sell, trade, whatever. Buy, sell, trade, whatever. I'm almost with you. I think the best buy is going to be, especially based on price right now, is that Dark Horse Presents 36. There's no doubt that is the best buy. It's only going to get better with Marvel taking over Alien and Predator. It's going to be an Alien versus Predator. It is what it is. I agree. One of the best holds, while it probably is that book as well. I think the Hush is up there. That is just a classic story. Well, Hush is a classic story. This is the first appearance. Well, it turns into that character. So I think that is good too. I mean, based on Hush being such a classic, the first appearance of that character, great thing to have in your collection, especially if you're a Batman fan. However, I would not be selling 8 Billion Genies. We are 4 issues deep, 4 issues deep out of the 8-issue series. It did get optioned. I'm pretty sure Amazon picked it up, and Amazon's got a good track record of making things happen. They don't just sit on these titles. They actually do something with these titles. The series might get better. For all we know, maybe they wrap up the 8 issues and it turns into a maybe a volume 2, maybe the aftermath of all the wishes. Who knows? I'm big on 8 Billion Genies. I'm a massive fan of it right now. I would absolutely not be selling it. If I had to pick one to sell, it's going to be that freaking Star Wars book. And if one of you that's watching right now manages to have that Trespass issue number 1, I would be selling that. That is what I absolutely would be selling.
I can agree with that. I took that off my list because I don't even remotely think about owning that. Right, like to be these other 3 books I have. Right, so to me, this is like a few of these books on this cover. I have about half of these, but the ones that I don't have didn't even register in that way. I can definitely see like the 100% sell. Yes, definitely get rid of Star Wars, but that's just me because I just think this is just BS. So I wouldn't even want to have it in my. I would just get rid of it at cover price just to really kind of screw up people's numbers. I would be that guy. I would be that guy like on eBay. I've got 50 copies of it. They're all $5, and the next day everybody's gonna be like, "What?" But I'm that
Screw
dude.
everybody over.
Just screw them. But as far as Trespasser goes, I mean, if you've got a copy of that,
If
you had a copy of that before this,
somebody's out there watching it like, I have that book. That's a great book. And it might be a great book.
Please, maybe let us know so we can have you on the show so you can explain this to us, because this just sounds like, there's obscure and then there's obscure. And then there's, what is it? Arcacia, Trespass, like there's obscure,
Alterna.
obscure. Alterna, that to me just seems like super obscure.
That's very, very indie title right there.
Yeah.
And
I'm an indie guy.
Yeah, no disrespect to him either. I mean, it sounded like we just laid out some disrespect, but
we were terrible. I'm the worst. Yeah. And so are you, but it's okay. We're all right. We're only on video for the rest of eternity saying it.
But speaking of other things. So a lot of people have been reaching out to me. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because we've already been going for a little over an hour.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people reach out on my Whatnot auctions and they ask my opinions, not just on exclusives and variants and stuff like that, but they want to know about the Whatnot ash cans. And just so it's not throwing you on spot, I'm going to give my opinion on it, and you don't have to even give an opinion. So if you guys didn't know, Whatnot is doing, they are basically a publishing company now for the comic book side of things, and major congratulations. No, you can't fault Whatnot for being incredible at marketing. They are phenomenal at what they do. It's some of the best marketing I've seen in a very long time. There's a reason they exploded in the last year and a half now, and they are what they are, and they've taken over every single con. My thinking is, though, which got me a little nervous, is initially when I saw it, they became a publishing company. I thought that is awesome. That's absolutely incredible. And congrats to everybody who is on the projects. And then I saw I believe it was San Diego Comic-Con, that they were coming out with ash cans, previews. It looked very high quality. It looked incredible. They had those nice die cut covers, the little W's for Whatnot. And I was impressed. I wasn't impressed with people spending $200+ on it, but hey, I actually sat down and thought about it. And I thought, you know what? A brand new publishing company like Whatnot, you could say the same thing about Bad Idea Comics, except Whatnot is incredible at marketing. They're only getting bigger. They're making it into the comic book industry. So the idea behind that you are getting the first ash can of the first comic of a brand new comic book publishing company that will most likely take off because they are spending money on marketing and they seem to spend on whatever they feel like spending on for this type of stuff. I actually thought, you know what? Down the line, years upon years down the line, this is probably a very reasonable buy, depending on what happens, obviously. Here's where the problems to me arise, and here's what a lot of people ask me about. We've seen the variants for the ash cans, and now that we've had, maybe 4 major ones since San Diego Comic-Con, it's not just that variant for the ash can. It's not that ash can. We've had multiple variants now for that ash can, multiple variants at multiple different cons. They're con exclusive ash cans for this. And it starts to make me think, are they oversaturating itself? Are they focused too much on selling the product than making an actual good product? Now, I've never held the book. I've never looked at it. I haven't read the story. All I'm doing is looking at something from the outside, basically looking in. I'm seeing what's being posted. I'm seeing what people are hyping up, and I'm not seeing a single person talk about these stories. I'm not seeing anybody post about this artwork. I'm seeing, look at this, what I just got. The not Emerald City Comic Con, but actually, I think they did have one. Emerald City Comic Con, Ashcan exclusive. We got like 4 different exclusives for this book. My thinking is that they're oversaturating it for themselves, and they're not actually going to be focusing on the comic aspect side of it. They want to sell as many as they possibly can, and basically they want to go that route. They want to focus on an exclusive. They don't want to focus on the product at hand where, you know, they're reading, like you said, Hush. People are sitting on Hush. People know Hush. That's a great Batman told story. What's the direction that they're going on with these comic books? Do they want you to have something that's very pretty and shiny in your hands? Or are you going to be holding something that you're going to be proud of and be like, you know, I read that story and I love that story, and I'm always going to think about that story. I'm going to keep this in my collection. Or are you buying it for $30 at a con so you can flip it for $200 because you know exactly what that is? And that's exactly what it is. You have something that is easily flippable, and that's what people are doing. And like I said, I don't want to put you on spot. That's what a lot of people
you're not putting me on the spot. This is, I've had one. I got it at San Diego. It was the Whatnot party thing. Sold it. To me, it's, I think it's cool to see all these different things being brought to life. 100%. No disrespect to any of the creators or books that are being published. I think, in my opinion, though, as far as longevity goes, I'm not sure about it. And I only say that because, you know, it is an investment. I'm not sure about it as an investment. And I say that because not only is it their merchandising, but they're also the retailer, and every single one of their people is, you know, retailing it on who can sell it for the most the next time, the next round, and build that FOMO. So in my opinion, is it a good buy? No, my opinion. Is it good stories? Maybe. I hope so. And maybe there's going to be some longevity in the future. But right now, to get in at that ground level and pay, you know, $150 to $200 just to be able to say you've got a copy of this, to me, I think that that's a bit much. It's a bit excessive, in my opinion. I'm all for indies. I'm all for new titles. I think in some aspects, though, I mean, realize too, Whatnot starting to do this, you're not going to see a lot more. You're not going to see a lot more Image titles running through Whatnot. You're not going to see a lot of Marvel titles running through Whatnot. You're not going to see a lot of DC exclusives coming through Whatnot. It's going to be theirs, and they're going to be marketed as such. So you're going to see, instead of them having 5 or 6 different kinds, they got 5 or 6 of their own every single con, and they haven't had a lot of time to put out a lot of stuff. So it's going to make a lot of copies.
I love that you bring that up. So one thing that people didn't know in my streams is that they didn't know an ash can is a preview. It's not the book. It is a preview. So you're spending all of this money on just a preview. And I like what you said too. People are coming into these streams. Do you have this Whatnot exclusive? Do you have the battle, whatever the hell
Battle
it is?
Beast, or
Battle Beast, or the
Adam
Invincible?
Eve,
all the copy and paste books that they're coming out with. They're asking, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this ash can? Do you have this? And that's what it's turning into. And you're seeing the streams that are popular. That's what people have. And it's turning, in the beginning, I thought it was awesome. And what it's turned into is this actually potentially a problem, you know? And that's why, you know, I posed the question, what is going on with the book? Are they focused on actually creating a good book, or are they creating something that they can sell?
I think that it's only a problem if you are making poor choices with it for your own collection, right? If you're like getting multiple ones of these, I think that that's when it's a problem. I think that honestly, there is no real problems in the community as much as there are people that just don't like whatever it is that's happening at that moment. I would,
Always
in my
disgruntled
opinion,
people.
yeah, there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like something, right? But I think are they slitting their own throat eventually? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, to me, I still see, and a lot of people give me flack for it, but I still see a lot of tells from the 90s. And there was a lot of great publishers that were coming out that were making a lot of great stuff too. And once eBay really gets in on things, Whatnot is going to be more niche. They're going to be more niche than they are now. And it might be to their books, and maybe to their credit, they're going to be great. But like you said, we've got a new variant every single time they're coming out with a new con. There's going to be a New York Comic Con
There's going to be
exclusive,
multiple
I'm
ones.
sure. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'll wait for the first issue to know whether or not, and that's just the problem too. Like you're gambling on a gamble, right? Now with an ash can, it's a gamble of a gamble, right? I'm going to give you $5 to gamble with, and this is going to gamble on maybe you'll make it into the next round to gamble more. And that's, to me, where it just kind of falls off with an ash can. I just don't find the same amount of love. And I have a lot of friends that deal in that stuff, 100%. I do. So I'm very embedded in that side, in that culture. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. But that's what I'm sticking to.
Solid. And I mean, everything I said, everything that even happened at like C2E2 and the other ones, I do not care. Like, I don't. It's not my problem. It's nobody's problem. It's, people, that's their job. That's what they do. And that was my take on everything that happened over the last couple of cons. It doesn't bother me. It's not my problem. And people can do exactly what they want to do. With the Whatnot ash cans, sell them. You're a publishing company. Do exactly what you want to do with those books. Me as a reader, I'm a little hesitant to pick up the first copy and think from the get-go that it's going to be really good. I think the priorities were different, but that's not a problem. I don't, when people make posts and they're like, man, people are doing this, and it's horrible. Why do you worry about other people? Why do you care what other people are doing? Focus on you. It's not affecting you.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you, bud. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that this is, when it comes to the ash cans, when it comes to this side of the situation, I do feel like we're getting into a diluting of the potential of the product. But at the end of the day, too, you know what? I haven't bought a single one. You know why?
I haven't either.
Because they haven't been within a price point that I'm willing to pay to read it. So I'm just gonna wait. Yeah. And we'll see. And I hope, for my friends' sakes that have invested in those books, that they do well. I really do. I'm just not that guy. I'm a cover A guy, right? So, these special, also die cut covers, and they're gorgeous. And man, if I had disposable income, I'd probably be there with everyone else. But to me, like I said, I'm a cover A and I'm out. That's my mantra when I'm in the shop. Cover A and I'm out. And I try to keep it to 5 or less. And that's getting harder and harder with all these great indies that are coming out, and great Marvel stories and DC stories. But at the end of the day, I'm going to gamble on those that I can grab and I can take a look at, and not really have to grab and hope that I get a copy of it in through the mail 2 weeks after the convention to say whether or not it was any good, or a good story buy, and not just a FOMO buy.
And you have to pray that it was shipped properly.
Yeah, the people that I'm pretty familiar with I've never gotten a damaged book from, ever. But yeah, there's a lot of other people on Whatnot that get those books too, and I have no idea about them. No idea.
But yeah, that's why I said I didn't want to harp on it. I didn't want to, really talk about it.
Good question. Yeah, good question, man.
Yeah, people ask me a lot, and like I said, I know, you know, you do cover price, you do sell books occasionally, and you're close with a lot of that group.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just, you know, a different opinion on it outside of me and all the very negative people that I always talk to about it.
Yeah, we all have very negative friends and we have very positive friends. I'm 100% in this case. I think the only reason why I'm the friends that I am with them is that I share my opinion. It's my opinion. I don't make it preachy, and I don't use it as a grudge to not like people or have problems with them.
Yeah.
I share my opinion, and if it's not the same as yours, well, that's cool. High five, bro. Still respect you at the end of the day. That's really the goal, is to really keep that respect in the community. I think that that's something that we've been lacking a little bit lately. Is just, you know, everybody's been super mad, and I get it. We've had a lot of pent up frustrations about a myriad of different things. But in this case, when it comes to the ash cans, man, I'm lackadaisical about the longevity of the initial purchase with how many of them that are coming out right now.
I agree.
However, does that mean that if I had the money that I could do it, and would I? Maybe. I guess it depends on how competitive I was at the moment when it was all going down.
But I appreciate it.
Tomorrow.
I still haven't even seen it.
Oh yeah, it wasn't bad.
I'll make that call.
I'll make that call when I see it on Disney Plus tomorrow.
I hear horrible things. But we are coming up on 8 o'clock. And before I end it, I've got to say, if you guys enjoyed this, tune in tomorrow. I'm live every single Wednesday, 6 o'clock EST on The Experience. I'm going to have the info link down there for you guys. It's the comics and collectibles show. It's awesome. I do it with the guys over at Dynamite. We've got literally everything. It's slabs. There's comic packs with slabs and other signed books in there. There's a lot of signed books, comic sketch covers, a lot of them done by Ken Hazer. He does phenomenal work. And there's always really good deals. There really are. Let me know if you have any questions about it. Like I said, it starts at 6 o'clock EST, and they have like these Dynamite comic pack reader sets too. And I think they're like $5. You get 10 books in there. And yeah, it's great deals, great stuff. But for me, mainly, you know, because I obviously don't buy anything when I'm on there, it's the conversations. The conversations are always good. It's with Rex from Dynamic Forces Dynamite, and then another guy named John. He's just there. He's a great guy. He doesn't work there, but he comes in every week to help out and do fun stuff. And definitely tune in. Like I said, if you got any questions, reach out to me. And as always, Phil, thank you so much. I know you're busy. I know it's pretty late. You got a family. And so taking the time out of your day to do this with me, I really do appreciate it. I have a lot of fun, and I hope everyone in chat does as well.
Appreciate it, brother. And thanks for being here. Anybody looking for me, you can find me right here at the words below. One True Nerd King. I am there on Instagram. I am here on YouTube, and I'm going to be starting to make some YouTube content. So
about time.
Buckle up. Yeah, I know. It's about to get weird, folks. It's about to get weird.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much. I appreciate everything again. Tune in next Tuesday. We're going to be doing the same thing again, 6:30 p.m. EST. I'll see you guys there. Thank you again, and have a good night.
Thank you.